Hi guys, it's Rocko here, back with another Lunar Classic podcast. This is a big podcast, guys. We talk about USDC on Lunar Classic. I have still been holding these spaces on Lunar Classic, meme coins, HBAR, and other projects, but I haven't really been posting them on YouTube because there hasn't been a big update. Until this one, we talk about USDC on Lunar Classic. Currently, that proposal is passing. That will help us grow DeFi. It will help Juris and lots of other projects. I'm really excited to see this pass. Frag talks about this proposal in a lot more detail. We also have Redline talk about the Repeg, USTC Repeg, UTC stuff. We talk about Juris, lots of meme coins. We play poker at the end. So lots to talk about, guys. Enjoy the spaces. Listen to it while you're in the gym, while you're driving to work. If you're bullish on Lunar Classic, give this a listen. There's lots of alpha in this spaces. I'm really still excited for Lunar Classic. I'm building Juris Protocol with LL and Frag. There's lots happening with meme coins. And I hope when the market turns around, especially now with USDC on DeFi and potentially with something to do with Repeg, Lunar Classic could be one of the big winners for the bull market. If you enjoy the content, guys, do hit that like button and subscribe. Turn on the notification button. I still make a weekly summary video on Lunar Classic, everything that's happening, and also on meme coins. If you want to support me, go buy some Juris, go bet on TerraCasino, and thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, guys, do comment below. If not, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Now go enjoy the spaces. Good evening, everyone. Hope you all doing very well. Welcome to another Sunday Spaces. We'll be talking about Bitcoin, Lunar Classic memes, Soul memes, BNB memes, what's happening in other cryptocurrencies like HBAR, Chainlink, and Shield Juris. Lots to talk about. After the Spaces, we'll be doing a poker tournament. If you guys want to sign up to that, I've got the links below. We are missing a few guests today, so if you do want to come up, I can see people here already. Terrapalm, David, Evil Corp. I've been seeing his tweets if he wants to come up. But if you guys want to come up, we can have a more of a conversation. Rexy is not here today, but I have got the co-host Juris. How are you doing, Juris?
I'm doing fine, mate. I wonder why Rex is not here. Maybe he's in the car. I will leave him a message. Maybe he will join. Because I think with poker and stuff, he might be there later.
No, he said he can't join today. He messaged me earlier that he can't join today. But that's fine. You know, sometimes you've been busy previously. I carried on. Next week, I'm away. You're the main host. So yeah, as long as there's a spaces when one of us is away, other people cover for us.
Awesome. I can shield all my bags.
Good luck to people tuning into the spaces. There will be 20 coins that LL is going to show. So no, yeah, there's been lots happening this week.
Right.
Cool. Well, let's start with usually we talk about Bitcoin and the market overall. Then we delve more into Lunar Classic, and then see what guests turn up. You know, previously we've had guests from other projects. You know, Kujira, HBAR. Last week we were talking about website with David and Vegas. Let's see where the conversation goes. But we'll go on for about hour and a half, 2 hours, and then the poker tournament will start. It's completely free, but if you are good at poker, do click the link below. It's on the main tweet. It's free to join, but the player that wins the tournament gets €100, and that's not bad bit of money if you're good at poker. I'm probably not going to win if too many people join, but yeah, happy to compete. Okay, so I'll start off with my thoughts on the market. So Bitcoin last couple of days have moved up. So since sort of Thursday, Wednesday was a nice big week on good numbers from the US, and we have been pushing at the 85k sort of resistance. If you look at the market since the top in January, we've had lots of sort of lower highs. Actually, let me post a chart on the tweet so it'd be easier for you guys to see. There's been lots of lower highs. So we had a lower high back in February, in March, we've had the end of March, and then we also had that spike in April before we sold off. The question is it going to be a lower high, or are we finally going to break out? So that's the question. Let me post the chart. It'd be lot easier for you guys to see. I really hope that Bitcoin breaks this lower high trends, and heading lower, and we start breaking out and heading higher, making lower highs and higher highs rather than lower lows and lower highs. So that's what we want to see. Let me post the chart. It'd be clear for you guys to see whilst I'm talking the chart. Me and Ella want to do more live streams. I think next Thursday, me and Ella will do like a YouTube live stream where we both can share our charts, do some live trading, maybe do 1 to 10k challenge. I've done them on futures on Binance or Weeks, which is Juris's first exchange listing, and I'm partnered up with them. Or we could do 1 million to 10 million LUNC, or 5 million to 20 million LUNC, or something like that, challenges, and we could live stream it. So Ella and I um, are planning to do that. But I've just posted the chart. You can see we've been making these lower highs. I would love to see Bitcoin break that, start consolidating, and break up above 90k. So 90k was the big support. If we can start breaking up 90k with what, again, I'm not an economist, but from the Trump news, he's dropped tariffs on rest of us apart from China, where it's gone like 100, 200%. Someone else might be able to correct me. I said it on my YouTube video. I'll probably tag this in a second. That there's a smart economist who said that if it's 100% tax, 200% tax, it doesn't impact much more. If America puts 300% tax, it's already so bad. The worst news have been sort of hopefully absorbed, unless he starts tariffing people around the world again, Europe, UK, and all the places. You'd think that the market would be better. He's also dropped it on like smartphones. Again, I haven't read it over the weekend, but he's dropped tariffs on loads of other stuff as well. So fingers crossed that we see these lower highs and we start breaking up above 90k. That will be great to see. So that's sort of my thoughts on Bitcoin. If we do make a lower high, I strongly believe that there's gonna the Trump is not gonna let the market completely go down. If we get a spike sell off, that will be a dip to buy. And I have got spot orders left, from low 60Ks. If we do get there, I think that will be a strong bounce. And I'll talk about Luna Classic in a bit. That's sort of my thoughts on Bitcoin and the overall market. Alts do look, I don't want to say strong because they're still weak, but against Bitcoin, a lot of the altcoins are not dumping more. You could chart LUNC BTC and other coins against BTC. The altcoins have been dumped so much that any relief in Bitcoin, hopefully we'll see a nice push. So yeah, fingers crossed that the stock market start pumping. The market's open later on in Asia tonight. Let's see where SPX and the other futures market open. There was a nice bounce in the stock market, S&P last week from same again Wednesday, Thursday. If it carries on, I think hopefully the bottom in Bitcoin is in. So that's my thoughts on Bitcoin. LL, you want to share your thoughts on crypto, the overall market?
I think regarding the tariffs, I saw like a video an hour ago, and it seems like they have tariffs on China still, but he's excluding like almost everything. 50% of the trade is already excluded, even from China. So I think he's like chickening out, I guess. But maybe Rick knows better because he is actually from the US.
I have. Oh, he's come up. Rick, how's it going?
Hey man, going good. My bad. I had some technical difficulties, so I had to log in and log out. So I missed exactly what you guys were saying.
We were making a dumb Europeans prediction of what Trump and America is going to do. We'd like to hear your first-hand thoughts on what's happening. I know you're probably not an economist; you can just share your thoughts. But yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts from American perspective of what's happening with the tariff, because that impacts obviously not only the stock market, crypto, the whole world. So yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, man, the reality is that the United States of America, for the longest time ever, they had a really, really bad reform when it comes to, the tariffs. Basically, all countries charge us tariffs, and unfortunately, most of the countries we didn't charge them any tariffs. So we're basically what Trump is doing is readjusting all that. I know there's going to be a lot of turmoil, but as you guys saw, the markets and the way they're exploding and what's actually happening. everything is in all honest truth, is a plan. Is they have this plan going on, him and Elon and all the advisors, all the financial team that they have. And you're talking about people that deal with companies that are worth billions of dollars. You're actually talking about the person that is the richest man in the world, right? Talking about Elon with so many billions. So basically it's just a plan. And I believe, all this conspiracy theories, in all honesty, that we've been listening since we were little, from the past, including Hitler, that he wasn't assassinated. And, we just found out with the new CIA documents that he was actually living in Argentina with most of the engineers, and most of the engineering that we have in the States comes from them. So, there's a lot of stuff that is going on, eventually and around the world, it seems. I think it's more of a revolution of truth. Now you can see of the pyramids as well, what they just discovered, and new things are coming out. So, it's a matter of readjusting. A lot of financial advisors have always discussed about the Great Reset, and that was going to happen, and I believe that's just basically what's happening. I'm not alarmed. It's a cycle. Markets are cycles, and we're just going through a bad cycle right now. We're going to get better. That's basically what it is.
I agree with your cycle thoughts. We've seen it so many times before, and that's why I am betting on, the markets that we've had: printing money, inflation, and risk on assets, stocks, property, and all this stuff go up. So I'm going to be betting heavily, and it's a big risk I'm going to take. If Bitcoin drops again, I'll probably be, most exposed to crypto that I've been, and Luna Classic as well. I've mentioned the 0.405 level. Do you think it is actually a plan, though, or do you think Trump has had to react on, because he's got lots of rich friends putting pressure on him? He's a lot of the money, the wealth of these rich people are going down, and I think there was a spike in bonds interest rates as well, which had an impact. Do you think this was all a plan, or do you think his hand's been forced as well?
Well, there has been a little bit of both sides, because the retaliation that the Chinese presented, was not expected, to be that bad. However, now recent news, it seems that, they want to negotiate things. They're asking for the US to take off the tariffs. And the reason why Trump did that is because, there's a lot of things that basically the major market that the Chinese has is the United States of America. That's number one. So how do you actually, mitigate these issues with inflation? You basically have to pass through the cycle that we just passed. You have to, basically crash the market itself. That's something that has been done before. That is why people believe so hard in the Great Reset. You got to reset things in a way. The same thing happened with Classic. You know, the unfortunate truth with Classic is that, after that reset that we have, it has been a struggle to get us to the point that we need to be. But it's basically a plan that has been leveraged. That's my thought. I don't want to say that this is really the truth of it. It's just basically my opinion. But at the end of the day, it's just a matter of, working with the markets, working with investors, and working with the whole world, and see how we can, stabilize the whole economy. Because the issue is, before all this happened, a lot of countries were heavily relying on the US dollar. And now you're seeing other countries move towards different currencies and different, different initiatives, right? So it's just a matter of the whole market, and the global aspect of things. Basically, everything is resetting itself into, a new path. So let's see what the future holds.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Classic Dal, for sharing that insight from an American perspective. LL, have you got anything else to talk about Bitcoin or crypto? Shall we delve into Luna Classic?
Let's go to LUNC. I mean, Bitcoin is bullish anyway, so I don't know what to talk about.
Well, maybe talk about Ethereum, because you said you've bought some Ethereum as well, because that's I bought some even more at 1500. Let's talk about Ethereum. What's your thoughts? I mean, I posted a chart on ETH BTC. I don't know if Rick looks at Ethereum and Ethereum BTC. That is literally at the 2019 low before ETH went on the bull run. The DeFi summer and all that cool stuff. ETH performed about 500% pump against Bitcoin. This was also the breakout level in 2017. It has back at that level. My portfolio, if I had held Bitcoin, I would have been up 70%. That's spot Bitcoin, which I used to tell people I'll never sell, but I took a risk of going into Ethereum. It's down 70% against Bitcoin since March when I got in. It's down 78% since the high. What's your thoughts on Ethereum?
I wish I had more money to buy, and I wish it was like dropping more, I guess. I mean, it's lower than last. I mean, Bitcoin is higher than last cycle's high, and ETH is lower. So, I mean, unless Ethereum became shit, it's obvious to me that you should buy it heavily, I guess. No financial advice and stuff, but I bought, so, and I'm down and I don't really care.
Yeah, and I'm the same on this, guys. Like, I have got a big bag. That's my biggest bag. And you know, I said since mid last year, bigger than my Bitcoin bag, which I've always used to.
Rocko, maybe I should add something because you asked me, like, because look what they're not talking about. It's ETH, like either it's shit or they're not talking about it, but they talk about Solana and all the other chains all the time, like XRP and Solana, and usually, I don't know, like if everyone on YouTube, like, I mean the big guys, like not the YouTube influencers. No offense to you, but I mean like the rich guys and stuff, and those who are like really in the market, they don't really talk about ETH a lot, but a lot more about all the other tokens that are already basically high or a little bit high, like now not anymore, but like after the recent dump, but previously they were pumping and ETH was like still kind of down. So I think if they don't talk about it, then they're probably buying it because it's not really dumping either, and they probably have shitloads of it already. So that's just my thoughts. Usually, when people tell you to not buy or to they don't talk about it, then usually they are buying, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'll talk a bit more about Ethereum. Rick, how long have you got? Because there are a few things like the WESO and also USDC on Luna Classic I wanted to speak to you about. How long have you got for us today?
Well, I got until the Toker tournament starts because I registered myself, so we can speak.
Awesome. Yes, I'll just so that's about an hour and a half. But yeah, so I'll talk a bit more about Ethereum. So I'd recommend you guys look into this. It's called Etherealize, and again, I'm not shilling Ethereum, guys. My bags are down. It's one of the, you know, since probably Luna crash, one of the biggest bad trades I've done moving to Ethereum, because a lot of finance, you know, the ETF, a lot of big corporations buying Bitcoin, Sailor buying Bitcoin. You know, it's looking like potentially a hedge against, you know, people are arguing if Bitcoin could be the digital gold. Because if you look at the gold chart, a gold chart is, you know, looking like the biggest meme coin is up 50% since, you know, February. Since the start of the year, it's up even more. So, you know, if people start looking at Bitcoin as like a safe haven, not as a stock market, Bitcoin could go even crazier. But Ethereum, I would recommend you guys study this Etherealize. So Ethereum have, and I'll link this back to Luna Classic. Luna Classic has an issue of, you know, and you know, I sometimes joke with David about the website, but we don't have a central team. There's lots of challenges, and I don't know the solution to that. Now that's where I focus on sort of L2s and, you know, where I can help. Ethereum has a similar issue where, you know, bigger companies, you know, I'm invested in HBAR, one of, you know, a project that I talk about, done spaces with, XRP. These are all centralized or more centralized. HBAR is a lot more centralized, decentralized, sorry, than XRP. But these XRP and, you know, Solana, where they have got good business development, they could connect with people, get things done, you know, work with bigger organization with bigger money. Ethereum hasn't got that because it's more decentralized. And with Etherealize, they're trying to make, you know, improve business development for Ethereum, do more marketing. You know, you don't hear about Ethereum marketing as much. Ethereum depends on like a complete innovation, where we saw amazing innovation from Ethereum with DeFi, we saw it with NFT, we saw it with restaking. It needs like an innovation for the price to go up. So hopefully with what they're doing, and maybe Luna Classic can learn from it, Ethereum can do well. And I'll probably end it on that, because I'm just trying to talk about maybe, you know, give myself hope here, because I'm so down so bad with Ethereum. But I do think, you know, at these levels, 1500, you know, it was 4K earlier, and I think Ethereum to 10K with any little push could be possibility. So yeah, I think it's a good level to buy if you have got some money. In terms of other stuff, you know, Rune, I think that's like a big dip level. If Rajura goes live, they go back to where they were, around $20. That could be well. Chainlink with the RWA stuff, you know, dip below $10, same as Luna Classic, amazing bottom potentially. And finally, HBAR as well. I did a video on HBAR. It came to my level of 0.12, 0.13 level, where I've got it back. I made a video on HBAR if you want to look at that trade. So that's sort of the market, guys. Let's talk about Luna Classic. I would like to, or maybe I'll give the open mic to LL, Classic Down Frag, and then I'll start asking some questions. So LL, what's your thoughts on Luna Classic this week? Any key news you want to share with us?
I'm sorry, I always have to unlock my phone before unmuting. So overall, I think I'm pretty bullish on Luna Classic. We have this proposal going on from Bad Actor Frag, and I think everybody except one unhappy person supports it so far, it seems. We have from both pump fund platforms lots of on-chain volume. I think in 24-hour volume, it even went a little bit higher than Terraport and the other dexes, so that's pretty nice as well. We have 2 tokens out of bonding curve. I think the first unbonding is still pending for one of the platforms, but I hope it will go through because some friends in the community made tokens there. And I mean, overall, Luna Classic is, to me, is pretty bullish. Like, price is not reacting, of course, because of the overall stuff. If I could, like guys, to me, it's like an opportunity, you know. Back then, I had to pay like twice the price, and it still did 600% pump. So this time it's like 20x, I guess, if this was the bottom. So yeah, I don't know what you guys think, but I'm pretty bullish. People tell me I don't sound like it, but if they would see my trades, I think they would see that I'm bullish too.
I don't know why you sound not so bullish on spaces. When I speak to him, maybe I can record a call with LL and how bullish he sounds. He always convinces me to buy more Luna Classic. Like, oh, Rocko, sell that, buy more Luna Classic. Go all in Luna Classic. This is the best thing ever. We're gonna change it. No, not we. You know, the community is gonna change it. We're gonna come back strong. Yeah. So I don't know why you come off not so bullish on the spaces. But my thoughts on Luna Classic, I sound like a broken record. I have been saying this, not 0.405 level. We have bounced, and I might be wrong. If we're in a full bear market, Trump goes crazy, Bitcoin dumps to below 60K, you know, Luna Classic will dump. But if you look from the charts from August 2023, this was the low. Luna Classic is giving you opportunity to buy when, you know, some of the Terra Rebels or OG Luna Classic people got in. That is the level where Luna bottomed, or Luna Classic bottomed in August 2023. It's giving you opportunity to buy that. Do you think we have made progress from then? I know you could argue we could do better. Well, not argue, we should do better. But, you know, it's if you still believe in Luna Classic, lots of developments, you know, hopefully we'll have more projects on here. You would expect Luna Classic to do well. So I have been buying this 0.40 level. If we get a massive sell-off where Bitcoin dumps, any dip you can buy, I think that will be like an example would be Luna Classic 0.405 level is like the Bitcoin 6K level to me. If you can buy below there, it doesn't matter if it's the exact bottom or not. It would be, in my opinion, a good level. And I'll post the chart on here for you guys to look. Same question to you, Luna Classic DAO. What's your thoughts on Luna Classic, high level, and also if you want to comment on the price?
Well, I'm extremely bullish on Classic, and just for the same matter that you were discussing, you know, we've been here before, we've been at this levels, and we gone up and we went down. You know, basically that's how it works, right? I would say that the most bullish thing about Classic right now is that what you have left is the people that are left on this chain. That's the honest truth. The volume that you see and everything that you see is the people that support this chain since day one. And all of them, including myself, including LL, including Frag, yourself, you know, and most of the people that are here in the panel, like Cookies, like FRG, you know, everybody, TerraCasino, basically is doing something to improve the status quo. Basically, everybody is pushing their projects to improve the status quo because we understand the urgency that the chain has for volume. And I'm very bullish that now more than ever, since we had the crash, is when you see more teams organized, when you see more teams pushing new products forward, when you see new collaborations coming in, when you see eventually things like that is happening right now with that proposal between different teams and factions working together for the common goal. I believe where we're getting to the state that we're ready to explode is just going to be a matter of how hard we support each other, and that's basically the honest truth.
Frag, I know you don't like talking about price. Anything you want to add?
No, I just I think I kind of agree with what Classic DAO said, that we see like
Have we lost Frag?
Yep, I believe so.
Yeah, he lives in this third world country, Germany, and in this small place, Berlin, where connectivity is really bad. I don't know why it's always like this.
USDC.
But we also have this when we call.
Frag, have we lost you for a bit? You might have to start again.
Sorry. No, I just wanted to say that for 2.5 years the community was completely focused on L1 and on probably USDC, and the far hope that that's going to be repacked. And I think I see some kind of shift in the expectation, and I see that that teams come on the chain, like also OG teams. Like, I mean, it's not like there are external teams, like for example DAO they came here, and it's also OG teams that organize and that try to build on Terra Classic, and I guess that's pretty bullish for Terra Classic. That doesn't mean that we need to neglect or like the L1 development. So we still have like care for our roads that we build on, right? So, but I think like building on the chain on the L2 and like creating high TVL on the chain is like most. I mean, it's for most influencers. You look like you look on the market or look on YouTube or whatever. They look at the fundamentals of a chain to determine the valuation. And I guess like TVL is one of the big factors. And if we manage to like have a big TVL through L2 development, then I think we are in a good spot.
Awesome. Thanks, Frag. Well, the next question is for you again. Do you want to? We talked about USDC on LUNC last spaces as well, or maybe the spaces before. Do you want to introduce that idea again for people that have not heard about it before? And then I'll get LLs, and I know with Classic DAO sometimes we don't agree, but it is a really important topic. We'll get LLs and Classic DAO's thoughts on it as well.
Sorry, can you repeat about what?
Yes, if you could summarize the proposal on
Okay.
on USDC on Luna Classic.
Yeah, okay.
And its impact on DeFi on Luna Classic.
Yeah, so the proposal is about giving a framework for decentralized exchanges on Terra Classic to apply on liquidity for the LUNC USDC pair. And we are basically giving a basic rule set, what the requirements are for the DEX to apply for such kind of funding. We say, okay, you can apply, but the funds will not flow into your own bags, but they will remain in community hand, and this community can still decide over the funds. It kind of suggests how much funding would be required to match CEX market depth. We, like in the proposal, we are giving a framework how the funds, how we are going to acquire USDC from the open market. Yeah, that's kind of a basic rule set, and for the DEXs to apply for funding. And yeah, we have like 10 multi-sig signers that are going to be on the multisig, which is going to receive the funds for the liquidity provision. And these signers, they are going to manage these funds on behalf of the community up until the point where the liquidity will be provisioned. And as soon as it is provided, like as soon as we have the LP tokens, we will send these LP tokens to the governance module of Terra Classic, from where the community has complete control over those funds or over those LP tokens. They can decide to withdraw these tokens. They can decide to like shift them around. Like maybe like they figure that Garuda, for example, like has too little funding, or they can just shift the liquidity around between the different dexes that have like liquidity. Yeah, so that's basically the proposal. Maybe I forgot something, but yeah, I guess Luna Classic DAO and LL will like fill me up on that.
Okay, and I mean, from my point of view, like not having USDC, there are people that probably can one reason could be if you own too much Luna Classic, you want to go to USDC, come back to Luna Classic. People have to go to centralized exchanges. It's a simple, having a big Luna Classic USDC pair is really important on decentralized exchanges. Yeah, before I go to LL and Classic DAO, one of the biggest things, and I'm not going to name names and cause more drama, is the decentralized question. It could be, maybe other reasons disguised as decentralized argument, but there is a big discussion on, does this proposal impact decentralization? Could you talk about those FUD, I guess, Frag?
Seems like I was rocked for 2 minutes or so. Sorry, I have a really bad connection right now.
Yeah, so this proposal affecting decentralization.
Sorry. Can you repeat?
Yeah, so there are some comments on Twitter, let's say, especially from a couple of people or one person attacking yourself and this proposal that it affects decentralization. But you've explained it already. There's different. There's 10 people on there. You've reached out to almost everyone. That be part of this. Let's work together to make it work. But yeah, so your thoughts on this proposal affecting decentralization?
Yeah, I mean, so it doesn't really affect the decentralization. Of course, you could argue that there is like a committee of people who are managing funds on behalf of the community. You could say that, and that it's clearly not like having this committee is not as decentralized as having a governance module that decides over all the funds, right? But I mean, we still act on behalf of the community, and we still act in the framework, within the framework that the governance is giving us, or that we are proposing, and which is going to be approved by governance, or at least I hope so. In the end, the LP, the liquidity tokens, they will completely go to the governance module. This means after the work of the committee is done, the control completely flows back to the governance module, and the governance module can then decide what happens with the funds. So it affects the decentralization in the handling of the funds is not decentralized completely because it's a committee, but on some paths of the funds, while we are acquiring USDC, there is no other way than having a single entity managing the funds, selling 2.5K LUNC for USDC or something like that. So there's like simply no other way to acquire enough or have enough liquidity for USDC, for example, on chain. Like if we had already USDC liquidity on chain, we could probably make it in a decentralized way. But we don't. That's like the hen egg problem. We don't have this liquidity on chain, and this means we need to acquire it on like centralized exchanges, and we can't have like a smart contract manage these funds. But yeah, what the point that I'm going to make is like, yes, it's going to affect the decentralization for a short period of time, where like there are some trust assumptions, but that's why it's a 7 out of 10 multisig, and all the members, they are highly trusted, and after the work is done, the full decentralization will be restored, so to speak.
Hello, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, maybe I want to say something because the main guy attacking the proposal, in my opinion, it's hot air because Frag, what he did is actually how it's supposed to be done in a decentralized community. So he went to everyone, including the people who are against the proposal now, and asked them about their opinion, invited them to work on the initiative. And the difference to the sub-DAO or any kind of, I don't know, committee or steering group, whatever you want to call it, is there is a very limited scope. The only reason for this multi-sig whatever to exist is to deploy liquidity into a DEX. And the liquidity is not going to be owned by any of the DEXs that apply, whoever it's going to be, or a couple, it doesn't matter now. The liquidity tokens, LP tokens, are going to be owned by the chain. And the only reason we have a couple people coming together is that if you have one guy doing it, like Frag, for example, or even I could do it for my entity, and it would be kind of safe as well because it's KYC. Classic DAO could do it himself, but Frag actually thought it's better to do it through a group of people so that it's actually decentralized. You know, the community comes together and then the validator set approves, and through this multisig, there's very little risk of, for example, Frag dying tomorrow in a car crash and all the funds are locked on his, I don't know, CX account, for example. You can deploy stuff slowly, and it's very unlikely that people on the multisig are all together conspiring and running away with the funds. I would end up in jail probably, or like get fined, and like could wind up or like shut down my company and get back to 24 to 9 to 5 job. You know, I don't see why it should happen, and other people on the multisig have a similar reason not to. And it's like, to me, it's I don't understand it, to be honest. Like, I don't get it because it's very limited scope. It's not like maybe the number of like the amount is high, but it's for a very specific use case, and it's very useful for the chain. Every DeFi project would benefit from it, and to be honest with you guys, Juris would probably need this, because the first pair we're going to launch is actually going to be the first pool we're going to launch. It's going to be the LUNC pool, and if you want to liquidate LUNC and you have USDC as the lead, how are you going to liquidate positions if there is no liquidity on chain? Is our decentralized, permissionless lending protocol supposed to go to Binance, open up an account and liquidate positions there? Because it's like retarded. And if you don't have the liquidity, then we can have very limited amount or like number of lending or like, how do you say this? The lending pools can only grow so much because we would have to put limits in, so that it's not possible to have huge positions that can get in bad debt because we cannot liquidate the collateral, which would be LUNC then in this case. So like LUNC is shooting itself in the foot if it listens to people that talk crap, make up things, are paranoid, and like I don't know, like sabotage stuff that's just beneficial for the chain. I don't know what's so bad about liquidity. That's my rant about the topic. Sorry, Rocko.
Okay, let's get Classic DAO. Frag, you've got your speaker up. Do you have anything to say before we go to Classic DAO?
Oh, I had, sorry. Sorry.
Okay, no worries, Frag. Classic DAO, your thoughts on this, mate?
Oh man, why me? I'm always the most vocal, man. Well, let's be honest. Let's be honest. You know, at the end of the day, there's nothing centralized in what we're trying to do. It's very simple. The same way you saw with TFL, the same way you saw when the crash happened, that the terror rebels needed to work with some stuff that need to have different multisigs for different purposes. It's the same thing that we're doing here. There's nothing different than that. It's just done in a centralized manner. There's nothing, that gives us any sort of power whatsoever. So at the end of the day, the only thing that can happen is like LL said, somebody buying, whoever's buying the funds, running away with the funds. But I wouldn't doubt they will do that because they're all KYC'd. They have entities under their names as well, that if anything happens, not only that person gets in trouble, but their entity cease. So at the end of the day, they're looking for pretexts and excuses to, just to divert exactly the whole purpose of the proposal. And I'll be completely honest with you. You guys have seen me in the past going at it with Frag and most of the people you see here on stage. And at the end of the day, we just have the best interest for the chain. So that's why we're here today. And Frag approached me and was like, you know what? I'm working on this proposal. What are your thoughts? And the beauty of it, we grew a constructive conversation into, how to make it more decentralized. And it actually happened. So at the end of the day, we've been looking at this very, very closely and how to make it feasible and, keep everybody happy in some sort of a way. That is why you see that the amount of people that are supporting the prop, it's basically, I would say, between voting right now, I would say 80-20. 80% is actually supporting the prop if you take into consideration votes. So at the end of the day, I believe, is nonsense what they're trying to do and when they're trying to spin. And I do understand that. Probably, they expected for their next project to be the best thing for Classic, and they blew up in the face. Unfortunately, they don't keep up with the volume of different projects like Terraport, like Juris, like, so far, so on. So I do understand exactly what this person is trying to do and try to accomplish, because this is not the first time. And unfortunately, us and LUNC Live have been part of this more than once. When we're getting closer, he goes into a rant. So then, it's just the way things are happening. But I'm glad that finally we're getting into constructive conversations among peers, and we're trying to spin this, this current status quo into being something successful for the chain.
Thanks for that, Classic DAO, and I want to thank you as well for coming on, because people might say, oh, Classic DAO is separate, Rocko, LL, Juris, the Terraport separate, Happy Catty separate. So appreciate you guys coming on, and I support everyone that's building on Luna Classic. I've talked about Weeso as well. We had them on this spaces. I've jumped on your spaces, so thank you for coming on. And another thing to add on this is, I am probably more practical than decentralized. I want to get things done. I want to see progress. I want to see price go up. Whereas I'd say, Classic DAO and Diamond Hands, they focus a lot more on decentralization. So if they're supporting this, then yeah, it just shows that this is not about decentralization. This is something that, if we want DeFi to grow on Luna Classic, is something that we need. Okay, Juris, you've got your hand up.
Yes. If we edit, I want to add something before we go to the root stuff. So just for the public, even though I made jokes about it, I'm obviously not Rabbi. Juris is not related or affiliated to Samurai, and to be honest, I still till today don't really know what 6 Samurai is. I know that that's related to this Discord where I have some friends and stuff, but I have a lot of friends in the community from a lot of factions, and around that time I had this breakup with my girlfriend, so I wasn't even really around. Until today, I don't really know what Samurai is, even though I make jokes about it. So full transparency, Juris is not affiliated in any way with those people. Some of them are my friends, actually, like maybe 1 or 2. Some of them I got along, even though maybe I have issues with their characters or whatever, but like you have to get along with people, doesn't matter. And I don't think there is anything wrong or bad about it. If you want to like say Juris is bad because I talked to some people that are possibly part of this samurai thing, I don't know, then okay, fair. And there is another thing I kind of lost track on. So yeah, the samurai thing, and yeah, the other thing is, point is, it's ridiculous, man. I mean, there is no reason to FUD this. There is no reason to FUD this multisig, and the point is, Classic DAO said something about low volume on new project that was launched by the same person who's like against this multisig stuff. And to me, it's ridiculous because I'm not happy about it. That one of the platforms is like not performing well. I think we tried to push both, even though one of them attacked us back. And I know that some community members from within Juris and from within other factions shield both platforms. They launched tokens on both platforms, you know, like there was no bad blood or anything. And I agree with Classic DAO that most of this stuff is personal and there is no reason to FUD all of this. Just my personal opinion. Yeah, that's all, Rocko. Back to the good stuff.
Okay, yeah, we'll probably start moving on from this and talk about Juris, Reso, and the meme coins that we want to show. Frag, one last question on this topic is the impermanent loss. So could you talk about the impermanent loss? And I have been playing with USDC, USDT as a stable coin on Uniswap, so I don't have impermanent loss. I have started playing with Bitcoin and Ethereum, so I've deposited BTC in a Uniswap pool to get some rewards, and there's certain things that I do fairly tight margin on Uniswap V3. There is impermanent loss risk for Bitcoin Ethereum position if Bitcoin keeps outperforming Ethereum or maybe Ethereum goes up. But yeah, could you talk about, because LUNC USDC, there will be impermanent loss risk. Could you explain what it is? You'd probably do a better job than me in explaining it. And yeah, the risk to the community pools money on impermanent loss.
Yeah, so impermanent loss is basically some kind of inherent, it's actually not a loss, but like some kind of virtual loss that, yeah, let me let me explain from the beginning. So when you are a liquidity provider on a chain, on an AMM pool, like automated market maker pool, then you usually deploy funds in a balanced way. That means you always, like in terms of dollars, you are always providing both sides of the coin, like USDC and LUNC, and always in like equal weight. So you put $1,000 of USDC and $1,000 of LUNC. And after you did that, people will come and trade the coins, right? So they take out coins like USDC in order to get LUNC, or they put in LUNC and take out USDC. So the balance of the coins within the AMM is going to change. And as it changes in one direction, the number of coins of the one side is going to diminish, right? So, and if you are bullish on LUNC and you put your LUNC USDC in, and LUNC goes like crazy, like I don't know, 100x or whatever. What it means for the price to go up is that on an AMM, the number of tokens in the number of tokens in the pool is going to diminish. That means the value of the token goes high, but the number of tokens goes low. So you have like higher value tokens of LUNC, but you have less of them. And that is why it's still more worth. So it kind of cancels. It doesn't cancel out completely. So the value of your complete portfolio will go up, but it doesn't go up as much as like versus holding it like just liquid in your wallet. So when you put your LUNC as LP into the pool, on the bull run, it will not have the same gain that you would have experienced when you just hold your tokens liquid in your wallet. And that it's basically impermanent loss. And it's called impermanent loss because you have the chance to regain the full value of your LUNC when the AMM approaches the price that it had when you deployed your liquidity, and then you pull the liquidity, then you will have the like full value, but then you don't have any gain. So it's like it's called it's impermanent, but it's kind of permanent as well. So can't really explain it, but yeah.
So just to clarify what Frag is saying, so if you don't ever sell, it's impermanent. So if you hold it and the price goes back to initially where the price that you deposited in, you get your money back,
correct.
plus the fees. So that's another thing. Also another thing to remember. And I'm assuming the fees will go back into the pool.
So Terrapod is designed that way. So the LP tokens, they will like accrue value, and the fees they will always like kind of auto compound it into the position basically.
Okay, but I've added some liquidity on some coins on Terraport, so for that I get the profit. But for this,
yeah, correct. So you get like I think the fee is globally 0.3% trading fees, and you earn 0.2, not of that, but you earn 0.2% trading fees on the pool. So that means you get 0.2%. Like if someone puts his LUNC into the pool, you earn 0.2% of the amount of LUNC that he puts in. And that will be auto compounded into your liquidity position. So you can withdraw it. So it's part of the DLP, but you get more tokens later on. So don't know how to explain. Sorry.
No, I think you've explained.
I hope you got that.
Yeah, I hope it's such a difficult, unless you play with it. Like I had to play with it myself, and I lost money.
Yeah, you can.
That's the best way to do it.
Like on Google, you can go ahead and type impermanent loss, and then you will encounter some calculators, like in a search bar, in a list of results, search results, and there are calculators online where you can play around with the impermanent loss.
Yes, and what I will do is I did make let me see if I can. Well, I'll let LL speak because he had his hand up. But I made some videos on this before, so I have put some money into USDC. You could earn about 15-20% APR. I spoke to a few people in the community as well, and I've started doing it with BTC and ETH whilst the price is cheap. So maybe that video will help us. But Frag, I think you did a good job in explaining it. And between myself and you, a double team, we've hopefully made sense. If you guys have questions, do come up. Maybe we can answer your question a bit more. LL, you had your hand up, mate.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't want to rant anymore, but now I have to again. So basically, I don't want to sound like Greenpeace, but if people are not really educated about some of the stuff like impermanent loss, then people who actually understand these things, but maybe are not happy of how things are going, or for whatever reason don't like this proposal, can use the missing knowledge from the community to just tell them stuff that may be true in some other context, but in our context as a chain community, for what we want to do, it doesn't even matter. Like impermanent loss, Frank explained it pretty good. To sum up, basically, it means due to the volatility of the underlying assets that you provide into the pool, it may happen that if you want to get out your assets at a certain point in time, you may get a different ratio than what you provided. So if you provided initially same, let's say $100 LUNC, $100 something else, USDC, if the price of LUNC either tanks or it goes up a lot against USDC, then the ratio of assets you get back changes. Like if the price of LUNC goes up a lot, you get less LUNC back and more USDC, I think, and other way around. And now the thing is, it doesn't even matter to us because we are not in a position of a third-party investor as a chain. We are the project owner. And if I can explain with Juris, it's the same. Somebody initially has to provide liquidity for the project, every project, it doesn't matter. It's for most projects, you need some sort of liquidity so that people can trade. So who provides the liquidity? In our case, I provided it, okay? So it's a certain amount. It wasn't too much because of the tokenomics design and because we're pretty poor as retail, so we cannot like deploy $1 million liquidity initially. But it doesn't matter. It was designed in a way so that it worked out, and luckily it did work out. My point is, yeah, of course I have impermanent loss on the liquidity position. It doesn't matter because we burnt the LP anyways. And over time, I collected more money and doubled the liquidity. You guys can be assured that I have impermanent loss, but it doesn't matter to me because I have other bags of Juris that can only be worth something if people have enough deep liquidity to trade. So it's like shooting yourself in the foot. You want to provide, you want to prevent impermanent loss and scare people with these things, but you at the same time are not going to make any money anyways and be out of business because all of the LUNC bags you as the project owner, like we as the community own, will be worthless anyways because we don't have applications that run on the chain. Nobody can trade. It's useless, you know, like the impermanent loss doesn't matter to us. It doesn't matter even if it's 90% because ideally we're not going to withdraw anyways. And if we have to, it will be for another stable coin. So it doesn't matter, you know, the ratio will be the same. We can switch out USDC for some other stable coin at the same ratio. Then of course we realize the impermanent loss, but the ratio of the assets will be the same. We deploy into another pool as a chain. It doesn't matter. It's like, to me, it's retarded, to be honest. And hopefully some people understand now that it's like, it doesn't matter. Impermanent loss to us as a chain, if we deploy the liquidity, it's irrelevant. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's not your opinion, it's a fact as well. That's what is impermanent loss. Some people get scared of it because maybe what the terminology is. But yeah, if you just look into it, put $10 in, $100 in, play with it on Luna Classic, go on Terraport or Uniswap.
Yeah, maybe Rocko, maybe I should add this. Like, I'm not talking for normal people. If you want to deploy liquidity, it's different. It matters because you want to at some point get your liquidity out and make a plus, right? So for you it matters, but for the project owner, usually it doesn't because some sort of initial base liquidity has to be there and somebody has to provide it. And okay, we cannot pay market makers to do it for us. So we have to do it ourselves somehow. In our case, if we project owners on L2, we have to find people or pay it ourselves to deploy liquidity. And if we are the chain and community-owned chain, then we as the community have to deploy liquidity. That's exactly what Frag is trying to do in a decentralized way. And somebody is just pissed and like trying to follow it. That's the reality of things.
That's a good distinction because yeah, I'm thinking more of an investor and making money point of view. That's a good distinction that, this is a project for long term. You're not trying to just sell off. Guys, before there's two hands up, TerraCasino and Classic DAO. Before I hand it over to them, if you're enjoying the spaces, do hit that like and retweet. The more people that listen to it, more people that we can bring into Luna Classic, the better. So follow people that here: Juris, TerraCasino, Classic DAO, Frag, TerraCasino, and retweet it. Let's get more people on here. We used to have 100 people, more than that, during a bull market. Let's see if we can grow our community. I've also just registered for the casino poker tournament. The link is above if you want to register. It's completely free, and the winner gets 100 euros. Okay, let's give the mic to Rexy. I don't think he was joining, but good to see you here. He just couldn't spend the evening without speaking to us. Yeah, go ahead, Rexy, and I'll try to find that video on DeFi that I did on impermanent loss.
Hello there. It's yeah, I couldn't make the earliest start, but yeah, I kind of nipped in when I could. Yeah, interesting conversation up to now, and great to see a range of people there. I guess in my way, I was going to try to explain impermanent loss in terms of how it might be understandable to somebody that's got no idea about crypto. If you imagine that you've got an economy where for people to actually trade and buy things, sell things, and pay for services and stuff like that, you need a certain amount of money that's actually flowing around. And let's say within that economy, everybody saved all their money and kept it all in the pockets or all in the bank, but they could never transfer it from one person to another, then it wouldn't matter how good your businesses were, nothing would ever happen. So this liquidity, when it's provided, is effectively like putting a float into the kind of shop till and putting the, if you like, the pocket money into people's kind of pockets. So actually they can actually, trade and use it. However, at the end of the day, it's all tallied up, and then it's essentially kind of assigned. So therefore, the same amount of money is always in circulation, but it just transfers from one place to another. But ultimately, it's all the same amount. So therefore, without liquidity, you can't really use these DEXs as efficiently as what you would do.
Okay, thanks, Rexy, for adding to the impermanent loss discussions. Classic DAO, you also had your hand up.
Yeah, it's very simple, and I'm surprised that we're bringing, typical your average finance terms into crypto, because when you get yourself into crypto, you already acquired impermanent loss. So, they're trying to spin ideas or narratives where there's not really any facts behind them, because the fact that you bought Luna Classic at 0.59 and tomorrow's worth 0.58, you're an impermanent loss. So at the end of the day, it's just good in a way, because people are getting to know and getting to learn what is impermanent loss. So I do applaud the people that mentioned that, for that particular purpose. But at the end of the day, getting into crypto itself is an impermanent loss.
Thanks, Classic DAO. You simplified it well enough for people that are listening. We have got Redline here. He's probably better qualified than myself to talk about impermanent loss. I've spoken to you about the DeFi strategies that I'm doing for USDT, USDC, and also Bitcoin, Ethereum. You want to add to this conversation, Redline?
Yeah, so for me anyway, like there is risks to impermanent loss. It's like holding an open futures position for all the world. So if the token ratio moves basically more than the transaction fees, then you will run a loss if you withdraw the liquidity at that time. But if you have a very volatile pool, once the volatility is more, like if you will earn more from the volatility than the imbalance in tokens sometimes, if that makes sense. So if you have a highly volatile pool, you'll earn more in transaction fees that will offset the impermanent loss and actually put you into a profit. But if you have a pool that moves in price but isn't very volatile, then you can run a loss, if that makes sense. So it can work both ways. You can equally make a profit with it, provided the volatility is in the V2 pool. But if it's not there, then you can run a loss. It can work both ways. So basically, the way I look at it is as the token price moves, you're running an impermanent loss. But if the token price is volatile and moves up and down 100 times, say, then what you've gained in transaction fees would offset that loss. If that makes sense. So you can have token prices move. You don't necessarily have to withdraw at the same price you entered in, provided the volatility is there.
I think Redline, if I may add, you're basically trying to beat impermanent loss with the fees you earn on the position. And usually, to be quite honest, it's not enough. And that's why people have this LP farming. So they add some incentives and stuff. But yeah, that's all to it. It's nothing really scary or fancy or magical. And again, like Redline, maybe you can explain if I'm right or wrong, or I tried to explain that for project owners, it doesn't even really matter because you need some base liquidity and we don't have it on Luna Classic. So somebody has to provide it. Usually it's the project owner. And in that case, it's us as the community. Unless somebody has like $1 million to spend, then we don't need it through community pool.
So you're saying for this, like we're deploying LUNC USDC pool, liquidity LUNC and USDC, is it? Or
yes, I'm saying what I'm saying is for us it doesn't really matter because we need this base amount of liquidity on chain so people can trade. DeFi protocols can work, like ours, for example, for the liquidation. And in our case, okay, we may have impermanent loss, but if we want to, we don't really want to take back the liquidity anyways. We may want to shift it to another DEX. We may want to shift it to another stablecoin pair, but it doesn't even really matter to us. And even if we had a little bit of loss, at the end, what do we gain from it? A lot of volume, and potentially the remaining DEX we have as community go up. So I don't really see the issue why people thought it like this.
Well, there is one risk, right? And the one risk that we have is that you'll have arbitragers. So say the price of LUNC is moving off chain, arbitragers are going to balance that on chain basically, and like arbitragers will extract that liquidity. That's how they make their money. And you know, then you are on loss. While technically, like say for instance, that like you could have nobody using the pool for on-chain projects, but you could have arbitragers using the pool to extract liquidity, you know, because they will try balance the value of LUNC. And so in that instance, you have money coming out, but no added benefit to the chain, really.
Okay, so like what you're saying, is, just so I understand, so what you're saying is that we still have a risk that the liquidity shifts slowly towards centralized exchanges by people arbitraging, right?
Correct. That is a risk of what's happening. There is a risk to that people will extract that liquidity.
Okay, fair. But then again, my point is every chain has it in every project. We have it with Juris. Every L1 chain who has a DEX will have the same issue, right? So it's not really an argument as to why we shouldn't have any on-chain liquidity at all, right?
No, I wouldn't be against having any on-chain liquidity. Just, you know, I think people just need to be aware of like there's pros and cons to it, you know, if that makes sense. Like I think we should use a share of the community pool for it. It does make sense to support the projects that are building on chain. But like it's not like at the same time I do think we should be using the community pool to try generate money as well. Do you know what I mean? So like while we use a percentage of it to do this, it may not make us any money. Do you know what I mean? It may help the projects, but equally it may not. And we just have to be aware that, you know, there's that risk there as well. Well, I think we should equally start looking at using, like, rather than leaving the community pool to sit there. So using it to help our projects and help builders on chain, that makes a lot of sense. But I also think we should be looking at extracting liquidity from other chains. That means like using some of our community pool, converting it into and staking it in other chains basically. And once we get that liquidity from those rewards, you know, we send it to an exchange and bring that liquidity back here. Like I think we need to be more than just providing liquidity on chain. We need to be trying to extract it from other chains as well. You know, we need to put money to work basically. Yeah, like I just think we just need to be open that there's pros and cons to everything that there is there. Do you know, like, so when people are saying there are risks, there are real risks to it. Do you know what I mean? But equally, there's real rewards to it too. You know, and it does incentivize building on chain, having the liquidity there.
And there's also risks of not doing it as well, isn't there?
Correct. Yeah, like I mean, if we do nothing over the next year and a half, then that community pool is going to be worthless anyway. So it makes sense to start doing something with it, whether it's providing liquidity. But I do think we should actually look at like the stake off chain or doing something that will increase the value of those funds for definite. Do you know what I mean? By providing liquidity, it may be profitable, it may not. We don't know yet. But
Yeah,
like
it's yeah. So you're basically saying that the only purpose of this is like making money or like having a profit from providing liquidity. But as LL said, we are the project, as a community, we are the project owner of Terra Classic. And that means we have to provide basic means for L2 project, DeFi projects, L2 DeFi projects to be able to write smart contracts that can directly tap on-chain into liquidity for a stable coin. And if we don't do that, then these kind of projects will not like flourish on Terra Classic ever. So your point is valid, but only under the assumption that we just want to make profit from the LP provision.
yeah, yeah, I get that. I assume that the main purpose behind this LP providing isn't actually to generate profit. Well, it's to try and get projects to build on chain and more projects to build here, which should drive demand for LUNC, which in turn should generate profit. Like I get that. I completely get the reasoning behind that. Like, just one question is that like, is there a limit to how much of the CP that can be used for the LP? Like as a percentage, or no? Like could theoretically,
like I don't know what. Like I'm aiming for 10% of the CP. So.
Only 10. If that's fine. Like it's not going to be like 60 or 70% of the CP is going into this. Like it's be sub 50% anyway. Yeah.
No, I mean like it's 10% of the put 10% of your portfolio at risk, I guess.
I get it.
I mean, it's a good suggestion to like take even more and put it into like even lower risk strategies like staking it off chain, but at the same time, this will like raise questions about who holds the staking positions off chain, because on Terra Classic we have the ability to be able to like use the multisig, and it's going to be on our chain and controlled by our chain, and we can send the LPs to our like governance module and whatever. But off-chain, we would need like some permanent committee that holds these like staking shares, and like that's basically it. So we cannot hold it like in a decentralized way, like on-chain, because off-chain is inherently off-chain and undecentralized for Terra Classic.
We could, however, set up a DAO or something completely only for this, but I swear to God, I don't want to be the one who do it, and like.
Yeah, correct. And we if we stake our community pool on, I don't know, Osmosis, we also would need to find some kind of way to always like how do we vote on Osmosis proposals? Do we even vote on Osmosis proposals or whatever? So it's kind of a weird situation, but it's like.
Didn't Luna have some weird? Didn't they have something where you could, like say you could stake LUNC and get like Luna rewards or something like that? Didn't they have some Luna Alliance or some weird thing like that?
I don't think they have an alliance module, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure, but
They were just talking about it and never actually came to fruition, was it? Or
I don't. I can check, but you can't you can only stake osmosis there. So we would have to buy osmosis and then stake it on osmosis.
Yeah, no, I was only just suggesting that is just if we were to start pulling liquidity from other chains, like it is just profit, do you know what I mean? And just start putting it into our chain. Do you know, like try a purely profit making exercise with it as well, do you know what I mean? So that you can try grow the CP as well. And that's the other side of using V2 pools is like maybe some of the dexes might move to V3 or to order books, and then you've a lot more control over how you're providing liquidity, and you can actually make profit with it, if that makes sense. I think, you know, so yeah, like even in terms of LPing, like if as the dexes say evolve and they might move to V3 models, or even some we might get some order book dexes, like that will make LPing, you know, you could even turn it into a profit making exercise rather than say you're not knowing. Do you know what I mean? Like I understand the main purpose behind this is to incentivize building on chain rather than profit making, but I think maybe over time we should look at turning it into a profit making exercise as well and try to grow those funds.
I think the sorry for jumping in there. I do apologise. I think if you could raise the attractiveness of the chain as a place to come and build and do business and just basically have fun and trade and that type of thing, and that increases demand, so therefore that increases the value of LUNC, let's say by ×2, then to double the amount of money that we've got in the community pool and therefore the value of it, I think it would be quite a difficult proposition in a short period of time to earn the same amount of money through, let's say, earning additional kind of LUNC or USDC, if you like, to actually equal that same amount. So I think raising the value of LUNC is the thing that will add the most value. And also from a validator's perspective, those validators that are struggling to pay the bills at the minute, if the value of the rewards that they receive doubles in value, then that makes it more viable for them as well.
Classic DAO, you've got your hand up, and then we'll go to Cookie and we'll go into shilling some coins. It's been some good discussions. We'll spend probably 5-10 minutes on Riso, 5-10 minutes on Juris, and then everyone on the panel will probably get 5 minutes to shill one meme coin or one coin that we want to shill. We'll start rounding up the spaces in the next half an hour because we have to go play some poker. But we do these spaces a lot. We can do another, if this discussion seems to be a popular one, we could do a USDC on LUNC DeFi specific spaces in the future. Okay, Classic DAO, you've got your hand up, mate. You're next.
Yeah, I do agree in a sense with what Redline is pitching as far as, you know, creating some arbitrage shadow opportunities. And I totally agree with that. But unfortunately, we're not there yet. And getting this proposal passed is going to get us there. But you can do it organically. There's no need to spin any DAO. There's no need to spin anything similar. Basically, what you do is you go back to your roots. What was USTC all about? What was Terra all about? Stablecoins, right? If we do the same thing with USDC, that means we can do the same thing with other coins. The community is gonna approve it. The community is gonna get behind it, just for the fact because they saw that something went through, it worked, and it's working, right? And towards the end of the day, you know, we cannot discredit the projects that we have on chain. Probably to some is, yeah, we're just putting liquidity in and that's just basically all to it, but it's really not. You're giving the opportunity of any of these projects to skyrocket. And why? Because people don't know about these projects. So having a different channel and a different sort of investor coming in for USDC that relies more on stable coins is going to definitely help this Dexus. So I do believe that this is a really good step forward. You know, it's a matter of creating arbitrage. I'm there with you 100%, but there's different ways to work around it. And eventually, yeah, we can have something similar. There's very a lot of ideas in this community that are very beneficial to the chain, and let's be completely honest. Some of them we will not agree to them. You know, we all have our differences. We're human beings. At the end of the day, that's what happens. But I'm really positive that having conversations just like this one with different factions and groups is going to get us there. But I would vote just to make this organically versus trying to push an idea, and that is the main issue and the resistance that you see with the community and the consensus.
Thanks, Classic.
Hello.
Bookie,
Oh.
you're next.
Yeah, I want to talk about that because we talk a lot about the negative, and we talk about impermanent loss and all this stuff, and that's the risk anytime you do farming liquidity. You know, regardless whether it's a stable coin or something else, there's always going to be that. But the positive side of these things, you know, things we haven't talked about so much, is like the ability to have a stable coin on chain that is native that will allow us and traders to be able to go from a more volatile cryptocurrency, for example, take a gain, buy a stable coin, wait for markets to adjust, and then reconvert their stable coin back to Luna Classic, for example, or USTC, and work forward with that. It's also great for us to be able to build collateral long term, you know, as a chain, you know, not only be holding LUNC, for example, in the treasury, but be holding native USDC. You know, the token has been skyrocketing 100% a year so far in growth. You know, they're up to $56 billion USDC. So it's extremely trending. It's rising at a 20 to 25% 3-month increase. So like there's a lot of adoption for USDC, and I do think it's going to bring a lot of eyes back to LUNC. A lot of hype, a lot of bullishness, like to see that this chain is actually building stuff and growing stuff. Sometimes you just need to get the attention, get people's eyes to come see all that's being built actively. So I do believe the stablecoin idea is more than just adding another stablecoin on our chain. I think it has a shockwave effect on everything else that we'll do, and the future, the moving forward, how we can even, you know, pay for professional experts, you know, having a stable coin option where we don't have to rely so much on fluctuations of LUNC prices, right? Like these are all details that seem like details, but it's the attention to these small details that make you be great as a project, you know, as an athlete, as whatever you do in this world. It's the attention to details. So Frag worked really hard to get this together. Put a bunch of the collaborators from this blockchain into one group, and we're able to exchange. And it's actually, you know, one of the first times I think everybody could agree on something. You know, maybe they don't agree with the whole thing, the whole ideology, but we mostly agree on most of it. That we need a stablecoin, native stablecoin on chain. And you know, we spoke about it in another group. You know, we can even use this stablecoin to make USTC stable again, right? Use it as a flex coin and do a combination of both. So a lot of things that can be done. So bullish on LUNC.
Yeah, I think we did talk about some of the bullish stuff before we jumped onto the impermanent loss and some of the negative conversations. Redline, sorry to interrupt.
I just want to ask, so the Circle, so USDC that's coming here natively, are we going to be connected to Circle's CCTP network, or is it Noble's Circle USDC? Do you know, because if we're connected to the CCTP,
it was Noble.
I think another thing we should maybe look at exploring maybe into the future is connecting to the CCTP network, because that would allow the USDC that we have on chain to be moved natively across every chain that's connected to the CCTP network, Circle's network, and that would mean that USDC could come to TerraClassic an awful lot easier from any chain. It could be natively moved in one swap. So I think that's something that we should explore, rather than, like, we can use Nobles initially, but I think if we actually use the CCTP network, it would definitely boost the ability to move funds to, you know, USDC to and from TerraClassic.
Okay, thanks for that, Redline. Right, so the next half an hour, we'll just talk about a few projects. Classic DAO, you've reconnected. We usually start off shilling Juris, but whilst you're here, do you want to give us an update on what you guys are building with the WESO? Oh, WESO, sorry, I keep calling it WESO. WESO.
I know everybody does. It's really WESO, but you know, the spelling when we see it, you have to call it the way it is, right? But yeah, we actually launched, I believe a couple of days ago, our hardware miner. It takes both tokens, both what is WESO and what is base token. we're trying to move forward towards a more collective way of, adding more utility into Classic, and that is the only way we can do is by adding more tokens into any of our platforms, right? So we have that we're working on. We're working on some thorough stuff when it comes to the validators itself. Have we told this you guys this before? Our network is basically open. It's not that it's just us. We're going to start reaching out to other validators as well, just for the fact that this was a project that was made for everybody, not just us itself. And man, I got a lot of stuff really, but I just want to play poker, to be honest. Today I saw the tournament, and you guys been playing poker for a while, so I'm just gonna head the tables today.
Thanks for that, mate. No, look forward to playing with you as well. I'm not very good, so me and Rexy are usually fighting to be who the first one's out. So maybe we'll just watch you guys play. But no, it's a bit of fun, engages the community, and it supports the casino as well, which is one of the bigger burners on Luna Classic. Okay, Juris and Frag, thoughts, updates on Juris?
Yeah, so from technical side, I'm kind of busy. Like the liquidation module is going to be actually like in two parts. That's kind of what we kind of figured in the last couple days. So it's not going to be like the liquidation module. It's more like we are going to have the queue or the queues for the different pools that we are going to have on Juris protocol. We have for each of them we will have a liquidation queue. And we are going to have the liquidation engine on the other side. Like last week, or like this week, basically the week that ends, I finished basically the liquidation queue. So users can make bids basically for the liquidation. And they are well ordered by the liquidation how to say it, discount and by the amount and other factors. So that's the queue, and I started to write unit tests and whatever, and then I'm going to like work on the liquidation engine that's actually going to look up positions that are liquidatable, or do you say that this way, liquidatable, and then looks into the queue and matches these together. It's kind of a matching engine basically. Yeah, so that's like my update. I have
a tough question maybe, and you can just say that we're still working on it because we've not spoken privately, me and LL. Any idea on testnet when people can start playing with a front end? Maybe LL or Frag, you can jump on and give us an update.
Yeah, I mean, we have the front end dev, and I would rather like pass that question to LL. so if he has the mercy to answer this question.
Can you repeat it, Rocko? I'm sorry.
Yes, so you get DMs about when testnet will be live, when people can start playing with Juris protocol.
Yeah, so we have a meeting on Monday with the front-end dev, and then we going to see how much we have front-end wise, because Frag is already, I think he deployed already a lot of the stuff into testnet, but it's not really accessible to the public because it's missing the user interface, which is the front-end the dev is working on. And I would rather answer with more confidence when we had the meeting tomorrow. And after like looking at the progress, we discussed the plan forward and like if we are on time, on track, and how we're going to proceed. Then it will be much easier to give an update. But until now, everything looks like it's going as per plan. I think he had the website already ready, like the front end on that side. David was so kind to make some changes on his own, which I didn't request, but he did them anyway, and they look really nice. So the dev was like, okay, let me put this also in, and we're going to review everything tomorrow. And apart from that, I know that he also worked on the, how to say, back end of the front end, like the foundation. And we just have to discuss tomorrow, like where exactly he's at, if that answers. But I guess, like, okay, you guys want a date. Like, I think front end wise and with testnet, we had planned for end of Q2. And right now it looks like for testnet and like having the website up and the app running, everything should look okay-ish. So yeah, I'm still busy setting up the entity, and from there, I think maybe Frag has to explain. He has to write the governance and staking contracts, and then we have to see how we're going to deploy the protocol, like step by step. So in testnet, I could imagine, but that has to be discussed. I could imagine that we deploy, for example, the staking and stuff into mainnet if we can get it audited before, and then have the lending part in testnet and later deploy it when everything got audited, and time it well with the CX launch, where we are waiting on the chain integration still, by the way. So that's also an update.
Okay, thank you guys. And yeah, it's always difficult to give a date in. From my experience with working on projects, I'd rather have, you know, it working in the background, check it all before we share a date, because people really look forward to it. And yeah, if it's not delivered, then it affects the project negatively. Okay. Sorry, did you want to add anything else?
Yeah, no, the problem is it doesn't really the problem is if I set like a date now, it doesn't really change anything if it's 2 weeks earlier or later, like, because we have been all working and waiting for like months. But some people get really bad feelings about it, you know, like, oh, you promised and stuff, and I just don't want to do it. Like, we just build it and progress, and if anything is looking really horrible, like time-wise, then I will update everyone, and if not, then just keeps going, and I don't want to like say any specific date right now.
Yes, agreed. Cool. Okay, so the next 20 minutes then, and maybe we can show some of our bags. First question I want to ask is classic DAO, and you can say hell no. Is the classic DAO or Miso coin related to you guys?
No, man.
I thought so. If it was, man, I would have had to get a big bag.
I know, but no, it wasn't that one. There was one that was from lunklive.org, if I'm not mistaken. And somebody spent the time and just wrote lunklive.org on the whole platform on, Lunk Pump Fund. So, but it's not us. Well, it's not related to us.
The real one. Well, to be fair, one of them, and I probably won't say it, someone had sent me a DM and was sharing me proof that is connected to Diamond Hands. And I'm like, oh my God, if someone is having to do that, it's probably not you guys.
I even made a statement, and I even made a statement about taking things legal because it was a copyright infringement, right? As the logo is registered and trademarked. But I just left it like that. But at the end of the day, no, it's definitely not us. And I can guarantee you that if we ever do another coin or anything similar, you guys are gonna know about it.
Cool. Well, I've had the same thing as well. Someone created a Trader Rocko, or not Trader Rocko, Thai Rocko coin, and then yeah, they dumped it on the Spaces. But me and Frag have actually got a call with someone, so yeah, maybe we'll share with you some news about Trader Rocko AI stuff next week. We're trying to arrange a call with a team that you guys probably know if you've been following me. Hopefully we'll have an update for you guys in the next couple of weeks. Okay, so maybe I'll show the first coin, and I've got to give a shout out to Frag on the USDC proposal. He's done a lot of work in the background. He's brought people together. So it's only fair that I show Frag's coin Blame. Again, full disclaimer, I own some. Do your research, but I like Blame Frag token. You can go get it on Terra Pump. You can buy some. It's it's the first coin to graduate. You can trade it on Terraport or through Vintrex. I own a bag. So yeah, like I said, full disclaimer. But yeah, shout out to Frag, and it's only fair that I show his coin Blame. Frag, let's go to you next. Are you shilling Blame or are you shilling another coin?
You mean me? Sorry, my connection.
So
Hello?
now, so we'll go around the table, and we can
Okay.
talk about other stuff as well, but maybe show one coin or add anything else at the end if you want to that we haven't touched on these spaces. So I started by shilling my coin, Trader Rocko coin. No, I started by shilling your coin, Blame Frag.
Yeah.
Do you want to show Blame Frag? Is there any other meme?
Yeah, I can. I can. Hello, you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, mate.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I can continue. I established that DAO kind of thing and voted on some fun proposals and I actually have some plans with the coin. I can tease it a bit. It's going to be some kind of like mini game, small game. And I think it's going to be very beneficial for the token holders. And it's kind of a social experiment basically. And that's that's what I have to what I can tell here. But of course, I mean, all the projects I'm working on, they are kind of taking priority. It's just like my side fun project, but yeah, it's probably going to benefit the holders of Blame and the Blame DAO treasury.
Blame DAO treasury. But no, cool. Thanks, Frag. Just to reiterate that point that Frag made, we do a lot of fun stuff with meme coins, and I guess I focus on other stuff more, but the priority for LL and Frag is always Juris. Luna Classic and Juris. There's Blame stuff, shilling meme coins. It's a bit of fun, like poker, engages the community. But our focus is still on Juris, Frag just gave an update on what he's doing with the Juris protocol, the liquidation contracts. That is still the focus, but it's always good to have some fun, engage, and if we can have one new investor that comes in for a meme coin and then stays and buys Juris or buys Luna Classic, stakes it, that will be a success. We've seen that with Solana. A lot of new entrants into Solana came through meme coins. Why couldn't we repeat that at least to a smaller extent? Okay, who shall I pick next? So Classic DAO was first, Frag, myself, Rexy, TerraCasino. Which coin are you shilling today?
Well, it's an interesting one, isn't it? It's, I mean, obviously, I've always got a shield Terra, haven't I? Because that kind of supports the community behind Terraport. However, in the context of this, there's so many to choose from, isn't there? It's, I think it's been absolutely fantastic how many tokens have been created over this last week. So, have we got to pick just one? Because there's actually a couple I was thinking of, to be fair.
You've already shilled Terra. You've already used your one. You can't shill anymore. But no, Rexy, go ahead, mate. Go. We'll let you let you shill two, as long as they're ones that I own as well.
Okay, so the first one I'm probably going to chill is one that actually isn't on one of these pump platforms. Okay, it's been around for quite a while, and I've kind of publicised this in the past, we'll say, rather than promote it, because I tend to try not to promote things, but to give them visibility. That's I guess the way I look at it. Maybe just a play on words, I guess. But it's Pizza B, and Pizza B, it's been around for quite some time, and the reason why I kind of give that publicity is because the guy behind it is like a little duckling. He just swims and swims and swims, and he's constantly trying to build things and make little utilities for the ecosystem, quite often on Telegram and through staking applications and burn applications and stuff. And I think anybody that's prepared to put the effort in to try to help the community and help it grow, I think sometimes deserves a bit of a push and a bit of a help. So Pizza B, and also let's face it, we have a pizza day pretty much every year in crypto, don't we? All we need is CZ to kind of, like some of the posts from that, X account, if you like. And yeah, it could go through the roof. I mean, the market pool's pretty low at the minute. So yeah, that's why I'd give that a shout out. But the other one actually on one of these pump platforms is TerraPump Fun. And classic Dale will probably like this I think it's the LLO coin. LUNC Live org or whatever. It's I think it's in the top 10 on TerraPump Fun at the minute. And the reason for that is the majority of projects and, if like, teams within our community, they've all kind of got a bit of history between them, haven't they? And sometimes teams have kind of got on, other times they've kind of struggled to get on, if you like. I guess that's the polite way to put it. And I think this TerraPump Fun platform, and I guess the other one as well, is an opportunity to help projects come together. A bit like the proposal for bringing a stable coin onto the chain, and I think it's rekindled the lightheartedness of Terra Classic, and it's brought some humour. And I mean, the creativity behind some of these tokens, it's kind of it's kept me giggling a bit all week. I know some of it's a bit kind of cheeky, but I think if you all take it as a what can I say? Just a bit of humour and don't think too much about things. And every now and again, all of us are a bit at the butt of the joke. But if you look at it just lightheartedly, I think it's really positive. And this LLL token, I think helps kind of reach out to LUNC Live, and that connects it with other projects that are obviously interacting with these launch pads. So yes, I just think it's good for the community.
Okay, well, thanks, Rexy. You forgot to show Cat with Hat because TerraCasino has burnt a lot of that coin and it had a bit of a pump yesterday. So yeah, you got too many coins to show. Yeah, shout out to Cat with Hat. He's continuing to building. I've supported them with the casino through the casino. They actually supported the burn of meme coins and supporting meme coins on Luna Classic. But yeah, Rexy forgot to show Cat with Hat.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the casino's got, I can't remember how many billion Cat with Hat burnt. Well, ready to kind of sort of burn, and I guess it's going to continue doing so. So I mean, yeah, that's great if if you're buying and you're holding that.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you, Rexy. We've got about 10 minutes before the poker tournament starts, so I have pinned the tweet if you want to sign up. We've got three more people. Cookie, if you want to quickly show one coin, I'm assuming it's Cookie, and then we've got Redline and LL to finish.
I appreciate you for the time, man. There's actually three major milestones this week for Cookie. First one being that we actually connected Solana and LUNC together officially with the wormhole bridge. So you're able to go from LUNC Cookie to Solana Cookie and trade over the pools. We've put a picture down below of all the pools. We're up to 40 trading pools right now. There's TKMN and a PAX-G pool that we added on GDEX yesterday, so that are not on here as well. But yeah, with Cookie, you're able to flow through 40 different trading pools on 2 chains. And we're going to be going to Binance very, very soon here and doing the same thing. So reconnecting the Binance Cookie to LUNC Cookie, and then creating this huge arbitrage frenzy where people can make money using multiple coins. We're using native or non-native assets right now. Most of our coins are wormhole tokens. But having USDC on chain is definitely going to be another pool that's going to go under Cookie's belt. We already have the USDC pool over on Solana, but we'd love to have it. It would simplify a lot of things to have it native on chain, right? So that was number one. Number two is actually also posted down below. LUNCverse is actually live. We've been running around LUNCverse alpha testing the teleports, alpha testing the spawn, alpha testing, the sector 49, business sector, entertainment sector. So it's extremely bullish. We've actually given access to some of the layer 2 projects that are interested in LUNCverse, so they could kind of go see it for themselves. Rocko, if you are interested as well, you can write to me. I'll put you in a group so you can go run around, create your avatar, do all that stuff, get some cool cosmetics on them. So you kind of get to see what that's all about. But it's a lot of cool stuff. It's extremely bullish for LUNC, you know, and it brings a lot of tangibleness, I guess, to our project, because we've been working so hard on this stuff, and you know, we hadn't had too much to show for it, but now, you know, we have this proof of work where people can actually see all that's being built actively. And the last thing is the Terra Pump Fund. So Cookie created the 4 horsemen of dough. So Chipcoin, Gerald's Island, Ice, LUNC Starter Kit, and Grumpy Caddy Crypto. And those tokens, every time they go up a penny, about 0.01 LUNC, we sell 1% of the treasury that we initially bought when we launched the tokens. And we use that to buy back and burn Luna Classic and Cookie. So just adding, like, using this platform to add another layer of fun. And you know, those degen coins are helping out Cookie indirectly, and on top of all that's being built actively. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say about Cookie this week. It's been hot, a lot of stuff happening, but nonstop building. You know, this crypto market is going to turn around, and we'll be, you know, all of Luna Classic is going to shine again. So I'm not worried about us, guys. Build in silence. It's perfect.
Awesome, Nicholas. I appreciate you always being here. Carry on building, and LUNC, go check out LUNC Cookies, guys. They're doing a lot of things. It's hard to even keep up with a lot of the stuff that they're doing. Okay, last but not least is Redline. Before myself and LL finish off the spaces, Redline, I know you're not a big fan of meme coins, so it's up to you which question you want to answer. You could shill us a meme coin or give us an update on EUTC or any Repeg stuff with USTC or a new stable coin. So yeah, any question, both, you could answer both question or one question. It's up to you. So go ahead, Redline.
In terms of the stable coin that I or say proposal or project that I'm working on, say we've just kind of finalised the white paper, and we're going to try arranging a meeting with the legal team, basically to go over it, just to make sure that it would, say, sit outside the remits of Mike and Genius. But other than that, I don't really have any news. So I saw somebody had made a rack off mem coin, so maybe I'll chill that.
Okay, cool, Redline. Thanks for shilling that. But yeah, okay, last but not least, the last 6 minutes before we go play some poker. Juris, I know you've got too many coins to maybe shill in last coin. I've seen some crazy meme coins shilled to me. There's this evil quote guy that replied to me. There's Baby Rakov, there's Rexy token, there's Vegas token, Trader Rocko, Thai token. Yeah, floor's yours, mate. The next 5 minutes you can shill. Actually, let me see also if the casino wants to come up to end the spaces. But yeah, go ahead, LL. The floor's yours to shill coins.
Also, I can shill as many as I want, bro. I need like 15 more minutes.
That's why I'm giving you 5 minutes. Oh, by the way, just again, I'm eating up LL's time, so I'll shut up. But next Thursday, I think LL and I won't do a spaces, but we'll do a live stream together where we can actually share these charts. Hopefully the technicals work. But I won't be able to bring on as many guests, but I should be able to stream, and LL and I share our screens, you know, buying LUNC meme coins, Terra Pump, Juris, and then trade charts as well, other coins. So yeah, next Thursday, I think we'll do that. And then next Sunday, I'm going to be away, and LL's going to be running the spaces next Sunday. And I'm sure it'll be just a meme coin shilling spaces. Just drop me a DM, LL, of which meme coins to shill so I can buy. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an update on that. But LL, go ahead.
Okay, bro. You can be our exit liquidity. We will let you know when we all got in next week. All right. So yeah, of course we have Baby Rakov. Baby Rakov is what we are going. I forgot to promote it actually. Like we're going to have this this airdrop with the validator of Juris if you're staked, or if you are a Juris holder, or if you are a LUNC Goblins delegator, so for both validators, like Frax validator and the project validator, or like my validator actually, you get the airdrops. It's the same back for everyone, and the details are to be announced. The snapshot is going to be taken either tonight or tomorrow, somewhere depending on Frag. So if you want to participate, you can. That's also my first pick. So obviously it's Baby Rocko Inu, and you can follow the account on Twitter. It's meme madness without real utility. Like there is a Baby Rocko Inu DAO where you can stake your Rocko, and in future when we do the meme trading competitions and airdrops, the Rocko stakers get a portion as well. And then Juris holders are like kind of excluded. So you have to either stake your Rocko, either delegate with us or with Frag, and then you get meme coins in future. So that's my first shill. Bro, second shill, I guess Frag's token, blame Frag. That one I also like a lot. Third shill, I find it more fun to shill stuff that's not out of the bonding curve. So I'm going to shill that. If you guys want to, I also have my public wallet, so you can also go and look what's going on there. The RC5 wallet is like pretty public. It's called Devco LLC on LUNC. So apart from those tokens and coins and whatnot, on TerraPump.fun, or maybe let's start with Happy Cats platform. On Happy Cats platform, I like Cat with Hat, the amplified version. I don't know what the difference is, but I like the word amplified, so Cat with Hat. And the other one is Alpaca. I also like Alpaca with Hat. So that's my two picks on HCC platform. And on TerraPump.fun, let me check. I actually bought a rug, kind of a rug, with some friends. So if you guys want to gamble there, we just keep holding. There is a token called Frag Dude. So we gambled on this one, and we're just sitting on the back. So if you want to, I own that one publicly in the company wallet. So if you don't want to make Juris look bad, go and pump the bags. Because the dev, I think he kept buying in and then kind of gave up or something. I don't know. Like it's not really a big rock or something, but that's one pick. And then from the top 10, I really like Danny's meme, the Neil one with A. Like I don't know if you pronounce it different. I guess not. It's at 37% progress right now. I like, or I should say, I own, to make it transparent, Grumpy Cat, Peace, Rexy, Trader Rocko, and El Pepe as well. So those are all my picks.
You just went through the whole list of coins that's available. But
There
yeah,
are two or
go
three
buy
missing, so I might need to buy some while the poker is going on.
Okay, well, yeah, go buy Trader Rocko. Go support Trader Rocko. And fund my
Did I forget Trader Rocko? I own Trader Rocko.
No, you shilled it as well. You shilled that as well. I'll go to Miami, but it's called Ty Rocko. But no, well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope you had a good spaces. Thank you. Well, thank you to everyone, but special shout out to Classic DAO, because I also like people coming from other communities. I don't want to say other communities. We're part of the same community, but people assume that we are. But yeah, special shout out to Classic DAO. A shout out to Rexy and LL as always. Frag, Redline, Cookie, and there's lots of listeners as well. DJ, Frag, Frog. Casino, K-Rax, David, and the rest. Next spaces will be Sunday from LL. I'll do a stream on Thursday with meme coins. I'll post it on Twitter once I've set up the technicals. If you want to join the poker tournament, come over now. It's starting soon, so let's TerraCasino's join. TerraCasino, maybe you can introduce the poker tournament, and we'll go over and play.
Yeah, for sure. It's just started now. It's €100 free roll, completely free to enter. There's no password on the tournament. Just head over to our site, click on the poker tab, and it should be the first tournament, one of the first tournaments that you see. No entry, just a bit of fun for everyone in the community.
How many people have signed up?
I can check for you real quick, but if